Ross Atkins spoke out to the media for the first time since Juan Soto signed with the New York Mets, and my first reaction to this, I don't think the fan base is going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's break down his ever so touching comments and much more on this episode of Jay's Digest. Welcome in everybody to Jay's Digest. I'm your host Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse, and it's not a day after missing out on the top free agent without hearing from Ross Atkins and his hearsay and his poetic phrases as to how he's going to manage to mess up this offseason as well for the Toronto Blue Jays. But before we get into the comments and whatnot, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we've been trying our best to keep up to date with all the little tidbits of news that have been coming out in Jays land, and you guys seem to be digging it. So go ahead and hit that sub button and mean the world to Nick and I. But Nick, um, it infuriates me every time that Ross Atkins speaks, and I put it lightly because he never says anything of substance, and he's basically mocking the fan base with each and every word that comes out of his mouth. Now, I don't think Blue Jay fans are stupid. I don't think we're stupid, Nick. When you look at these quotes and when you look at what is being said, he's non-committal in each and every one of his answers. And we just want to know what's going on here. Okay, you missed out on the number one free agent in back-to-back off seasons. Last year, you didn't have a plan B. You put all of your eggs in the Otani basket. You did the same thing this offseason, by all accounts. And again, you're in the same boat. I don't know who's on your radar next. So it's puzzling to me. It's frustrating. And I echo the sentiments of most Blue Jay fans that are in our comments incessantly every single day.
Yeah, I mean, Jays fans are pretty livid at these comments, and he does give some insight as to what some of their moves may be. Again, we'll keep you up to date with that as reports start to fly. But when it comes to his comments, there's a few different things, and we'll dive into to each one here. So we'll start with this one. Asked Ross Atkins what a successful winter meeting would look like for the Jays. We just keep we just keep doing what we're doing and focus on getting the team better. We have to stay agile, but certainly not to overreact. And again, this could be code for we're not going to overpay for Corbin Burns. This could be code for we are going to, make some big moves here. And there's a lot of other things. John Schneider also spoke out, which we'll dive into. Sorry, he had a lot of comments. He also spoke out on the Juan Soto pursuit and saying he's a really good player, really good person on and off the field. He had a lot of interest, and we were grateful to be a part of the process. And they also said, I'll let you have a moment here in a minute, but they also said that they didn't ask to recruit Vladdy regarding Soto, didn't want to go to an unnatural extent and have him be a part of the presentation, but I'm sure because of their relationship there was influence. Let's not forget he is 1 year removed or 1 year away from being a free agent. And then we also got a report coming out basically that, they didn't actually go to 760 million. They were under 700 million for the superstar outfielder. Rogers gave them the go-ahead. We can read that third paragraph. Rogers gave them the authorization to go further, but it appears the front office held steady to their valuations as the final day push for both the Mets and Yankees eliminated the other contenders. So it seems like the 760, maybe you want to believe John Heyman. Some people are. You can believe this is directly from Sportsnet and Shadavidi and Ben Nicholson-Smith, so from Rogers themselves. Peter, there's a little bit to dive into here, but kind of a smorgasbord of bad comments from Ross Atkins. And I wish he would just word things like an actual human being instead of a poorly coded AI robot.
Yeah, can you go back? I got two things to say here. Can you go back to the first quote that you showed, Nick? We just have to keep doing what we're doing. You're not doing anything. You haven't done anything. You've met with people, and the second thing that is infuriating to me is okay, you didn't go to 700 million, which I'm not angry about. What I'm angry about is the fact that you were so convinced in your pursuit of Juan Soto. How in the world, how in the hell were you going to get him if you were $100 million away from the next highest offer? Enlighten me, Nick. How are you going to sign this guy with the uphill battles that you would have had to overcome and be $100 million less than the top offer from the New York Mets? I I don't understand. If Rogers guys are coming out here and saying that they didn't offer $700 million, they didn't offer $700 million, which again, I'm okay with. If you didn't invest all of your time and resources into Juan Soto. And now Blake Snell is off the board. Willie Adames, who would have been a pretty nice target for the Blue Jays, also off the board. Tyler O'Neill, a guy whose tires we've been pumping for a couple of weeks now, he's also off the board. Why? Because you're not calling. You didn't call them. You were calling Juan Soto back and forth, playing broken telephone. You were calling him. I don't think he was picking up. I don't think he was very receptive to what you had to say, and clearly not, because now he's playing in Queens, and you don't have him, and I don't know where you go from here. So keep doing what you're doing. You've done nothing. You have done absolutely nothing to this point. You did nothing last offseason, and you're going to have another crappy year to show for it if you don't wake up and do something or sign someone. Forget not overreacting here.
I think
It's
they
time
should
to
have.
overreact.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say.
time to overreact. Sign someone, overpay, do something. I don't care anymore at this point.
Yeah, I think the last like little bit there, not certainly not to overreact. I get it from the perspective of they have their their metrics, their evaluation. You have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bichette, your two best players, about to be free agents after next year. You have no one signed in free agency. You're coming off of an offseason where you signed IKF, Justin Turner, Kevin Kiermaier. Kevin Kiermaier's retired. Justin Turner might retire, but he's at the end of his career. And IKF, who a solid player. I agree with you. I mean, at this point, like, they need to go ahead and they need to overreact. They need to make a big splash. And if they come out this week and sign Corbin Burnes and Anthony Santander, I'll come back on video and I will take some of my words back about this corporate jargon that he likes to spew out here. But they asked him, and this is a good one. They asked him if there was interest in a possible reunion with Teoscar Hernandez, and he said, "We are definitely interested in figuring out a way for that to be a possibility." So what this means is he managed in, I believe that's over 10 words to say maybe. So that was a
To
really
say nothing.
yeah,
To say nothing.
it's a fancy way to say, maybe we'll do that because we are definitely interested in figuring out a way for that to be a possibility. It's like when you're trying to get an essay to 1,000 words and you just start using a bunch of different words.
It's true.
That's literally
It's
exactly
true.
what he's
Yeah.
trying to do here because he didn't want to just say maybe. I hope they go out and get Teoscar Hernandez. It's probably a Dodger or a Red Sox. And ultimately for Juan Soto, I mean, less than 700 million, sure, whatever. I don't know. Clearly there was some disconnect, huge offer at the end of the day. But, I mean, I'm annoyed right now, but this is the way he always speaks, so I'm not really surprised by it. That being said, they need to go out and do something. And it's going to be, when this video is up, it's Tuesday. They have the rest of today. They have the rest of the week to make something happen and to shut me up. I'd gladly shut up if they get Corbin Burnes and Santander, but if they get anything less than someone on that level, Max Fried as well, who appears to be, not headed to the Yankees confirmed or anything, but the Yankees are making a strong push for him. If you see the Yankees go out and get Max Fried, the Jays surely had to have some counterpoint here because the AL East is looking pretty weak right now, at least when it comes to surefire like juggernauts. And that's what a lot of people are saying. If John Schneider coming out, we have a really good group of players. We're trying to make that group better. John Schneider's comments annoy me less because he's a bit more personable, so I'll give that to him. And again, and Soto impressed them. And this is the interesting thing I want to get your thoughts on. He spoke directly on the bottom and well about which areas the Jays need to improve in and how. He repeatedly focused on power and better base running, which sound like wise ways to complement the club's heavy focus on contact. Yes, get power, get base running. Ross Atkins also said that they're going to look for guys who actually make quality contact instead of just making contact. So that's at least a bright sign here. But Santander and Corbin Burnes, if they don't get either of those two guys, I mean, if they just get Santander, I'll be disappointed. But man, oh man, he needs to. They need to do something. And if he's just saying this to cover his tracks before they make a big move and they don't want to leak anything, fine. Otherwise, it's going to be in for a long offseason.
I don't know if that's the only direction that they can go in, which is what is so unique about this free agent class or even the trade market. There are a lot of directions that you can go in. There are a lot of guys that you can target. And I'm not finished with Ross Atkins yet. I want to go back to the comment that he made about Teoscar Hernandez. How are you a Major League Baseball general manager and you can't figure out a way how to sign a guy? I'll tell you how to do that. I'll tell you how to figure that out. You call him up. You say, "This is what we're offering over this many years. Take it or leave it." That's how you go about contract negotiations. I don't know what's so puzzling about picking up the phone and calling a guy and gauging his interest level in your ball club. There's a lot that needs to be done this offseason, and I think there are enough pieces out there available for the Blue Jays to fill some of those holes on their roster. So I'm going to give them some time here. But the fact that you haven't moved the needle on any specific individual free agent and we're nearing mid-December here, that is concerning to me. And the fact that you were so arrogant in your pursuit of Juan Soto, but you were so far behind at the same time in your offer in accordance to other teams, to me, it's just insulting to the fan base. And it feels at this point that they're just saying they're in on these sweepstakes or saying they're pursuing these players heavily and then just blaming external factors when it doesn't materialize for themselves. I think the reason why you didn't get Soto or didn't have a chance to get him was because you were $100 million away from the best offer, which came from the New York Mets. It's not because you're in Canada. It's not because Vladdy wasn't a part of your recruitment process. Stop trying to blame other things. Stop trying to deflect the blame. I don't know how Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro still have jobs at the end of this offseason if the team is not significantly better heading into next year. This is the longest leash that I've ever seen. And I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. They kept Jason Garrett as the head coach for 9 years. I don't know if you know who Jason Garrett is, Nick. He's on the Sunday Night Football crew right now as a panelist. No longer in the NFL coaching sphere. They kept him for 9 years.
I think at the end of the day, you're right. There is other ways than just Burns and or whoever else they get sent in there.
Just do something.
But they need to make some. I don't care what the combination is to get you to that impact remark with the team. We've been discussing it. We're going to keep discussing it. If in a month from now, when it's January and when winter meetings end and they haven't made a splash, if we see Corbin Burns sign with whatever team, the Giants, and then you see Max Fried go to the Yankees, we're hearing buzz right now. I see it on my monitor to my left of Devin Williams potentially getting traded to the Yankees. There's a lot of things going on here. Not that the Jays should go out and get Devin Williams. Make some sort of move. Alex Bregman's still available. Nolan Arenado's available for trade. Don't love it, but it's possible. They need to do something. And the last thing I'm going to say, let's overreact. Ross Atkins, let's overreact. It's about that time. But any final thoughts here? I think it's going to be a busy day, so we'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, and things are going to keep happening. I'm officially on Corbin Burns watch. Reel me back in. I'm on Corbin Burns watch over here.
You're nuts. You're nuts, Nick. I'm not on any watch until I see something actually happen here, because Ross Atkins, he's let us down way too many times for me to be in on anybody.
And maybe he'll, I'm going to hold hope. Maybe he'll sign the next Marcus Semien, the 1 year wonder that he had.
That's why you're the optimist. That's why you're the optimist.
Gotta keep rocking it. Although I'm very upset with Ross Atkins' comments today. Very expected, and someone should take this tweet and put it on their wall. I should frame that behind me. Just if they sign nobody of impact, I will frame this tweet behind me as being the CEO of definitely interested in figuring out a way. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are. See you later.